Okay, here we go. So far, I've been right pretty much 99% of the time. Because I was thinking rationally in the very beginning when I saw him stacking up tanks, I said, he can't afford to go. His military's fucked. He has no command and control. He has a corrupt system. I gave all these reasons, and then I showed that all of Sun Tzu's principles were being employed by Ukraine. When to fight, when to fall back, all of the things that he talked about, they were doing. And I knew instantly before the really hit the fan what was going to happen. You need the moral law on your side. Without that, it is a one man war. It's Vladimir Putin against Ukraine. And for him, the Russian people that are dying for his dream, uh, it was just outright, it was a land grab. That's what drove Hitler, right? Oh, we need some room to grow. Room to grow. That's what we need. Room to grow. Okay, one guy, one fucking guy. And everyone wanted him dead in the end. Everyone. Except for the Allies. Let me see. Pretty much about 30 or 40 of his top military leaders all wanted him fucking gone. But 30 or 40 of the Allies' top military leaders all wanted him alive. And they had many opportunities. That I believe there was between 5 and 7 points where they could have assassinated Hitler successfully. And they didn't. Because they knew the war would end sooner with him in control. And that's what's happening in Russia. And I think, just like in Germany, when they were starting to understand they were going to lose this war, and they're sitting around a room all terrified of this one fucking guy, okay? Wait a minute, there's 10 of us in the room right now. We all want this guy gone. There's one guy here. They all still ran, didn't they? Because they were all guilty of war crimes. They all ran. They didn't just pop him one and then call the Allies and go, okay, we got rid of that asshole. We need a organized surrender here. They didn't do that. And at this point, I'm starting to think, well, maybe that's how it's going to go in Russia. I hope I'm wrong, but that could be how it goes in Russia. They will end up destroying their country 100%. They'll get to the point where there's so much damage done that the rest of the world will actually be feeling sorry for them. I hope Vladimir Putin got the message the other day. You see, we don't need to stoop to your level to kick your fucking asses, to get rid of you and all your generals. We don't need nuclear weapons. You can't even handle 13 or 14 fucking HIMARS we developed in the 90s, my man. What the fuck are you going to do when you've got our Air Force, our Army, our Marines, our Navy kicking your ass? What are you going to do? When all of NATO starts kicking your ass, what are you going to do? China's not going to come to your aid. China is not going to come to your aid. They have enough problems already, just like you did before you started this shit, okay? Listen, before a fight, you have to get in shape. That's the hardest thing. You need to make weight. You need to train. Train. Spar. Okay? Even that takes a toll on your body. Look what it did to Mike Tyson when he tried to come back with boxing. He's getting old, like me. You got to face the facts. Okay? You're not that person you were anymore. There will come a point where they will have to do something because he'll get desperate, right? And he'll go, well, I'm going to use a nuclear weapon just because I have nothing to lose. You see, when a person gets to a point where they have nothing to lose, then they're willing to sacrifice everybody. Well, guess what? Everybody ain't going for it. You might have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or even 20 fucking hardliners, but the entire rest of your fucking military understands what the fuck. They know what's going on. The lower echelon officers know exactly what's going on. They've all been trying to get their piece of the pie too. They know what's going on. They'd love to see the top 30% of the Russian government gone. They would love to. See, everything is not all hunky-dory there. Don't think that there's this great big love hug fest going on and they're all celebrating, Vladimir Putin's great, adventure. No, that's not how people are looking at it. Right now, at this very moment, he has set his country back a minimum of 20 years. Right now. Now, I know that, and I'm a dumbass. You don't think that people that are there at his side don't understand this? Of course they understand it. They've been sanctioned. And we still have other levels to go. You see, it's a one-man thing. One-man thing. The Ukrainians have the moral law on their side. And I'm going to make another prediction now. You see, I can tell you that warm clothing is way cheaper than a Javelin. You can make it. You can have hundreds of people who've never done anything technological, and we can keep every Ukrainian soldier warm and supplied this winter. Okay? There's no reason. I see zero reasons why we're not right now. I'll guarantee you right now, there are military jets sitting on the runway with warm weather clothing. I'll guarantee you that. There's no reason why we can't keep them supplied through the winter, because clothing is so much cheaper than military equipment. Okay? Every HIMARS rocket, how many pairs of warm weather, snowsuit kind of gear can you buy with that? A lot. I mean, just 4 or 5 HIMARS barrages, that closed the entire fucking Ukrainian military, okay? So we won't have a problem doing that. And I don't see them slowing down. What I see is what Sun Tzu talked about was poking the enemy and looking for his weak points. Come over here and make him think he has to be over here while you're ready to attack over here. And then once you attack over here, he runs back over there to guard himself while you attack over here. And the bear's going to get poked all winter long. And at the end of wintertime, we'll see where Vladimir Putin stands politically. I don't see anything improving. The brain drain, the corporate drain, the fact that the world is now understanding they have to move off of oil and gas. That's the only reason your price is spiking right now, because you guys are, again, it's the most controlled market in the world. You guys determine what we pay. You're like a fucking Federal Reserve of energy. You guys determine what we pay by how much you let us have. See? The United States is the #1 producer of oil in the world, not Saudi Arabia. But what we need to do is be a leader in converting to electric vehicles. Okay? I'll talk about the Aptera later today. If everyone was driving an Aptera, we would have enough electricity right now. We'd have enough sunlight right now where all of our driving needs would be completely handled as far as civilians go, right? By the design that the Aptera has. Where the majority of us would actually be gaining fuel. We'd actually have a full battery all the time because we'd never use up the mileage that we need. It's an incredible design. Go look at the Aptera if you haven't seen it, okay? This is one of the things that could actually help save the planet and not just be great transportation, but actually contribute to less warming of the planet in a significant way by proving that you cannot take a fucking 2019 design and turn it into an electric car. The Aptera's drag coefficient at 60 miles an hour is the same as an F-150 driver's side mirror at 60 miles an hour. Now, you cannot compete with that efficiency right now in the American market. And when people start seeing this and how useful and how big the car is on the inside, and how safe it is, how innovative it is, I think we'll start seeing changes in the automotive market. Now, Elon Musk, he brought electric cars to the forefront. I think Aptera is going to bring solar design to the forefront, where battery packs will be 1/4 the size that they are now, because you will be producing electricity yourself all the time just by sitting in sunlight. I see that also coming. But hey, wintertime, Ukraine's going to keep on rolling, doing the peg hits like this. Russia will not be able to contend with that. There'll be more pissed off Russians. There'll be more people getting information and understanding that, well, wait a minute, there's not a bunch of Nazis in Ukraine? Vladimir Putin was just lying to us because he controls all the TV stations? Well, people will come to that realization sooner or later. Now, the hardcore 60-year-old alcoholic, hardline Russian is never going to believe anything you say except the United States is evil, okay? But I know better because I've met people from Eastern Europe, Western Europe. They're all the same. They're just like us. All humans are the same. I know people don't understand that sometimes when I say that, okay? But all humans are the same, and that's why it's easy to predict things that are going to happen in other cultures, because we all want and need the same things from ourselves, for our loved ones, from our loved ones. Simple. Sun Tzu was right. You need the moral law on your side. It's not just the 1,000 ounces of silver a day that Putin can't handle, okay, without harming the villagers and everyone around. Sun Tzu talked a lot about the civilians suffering when there's a war going on, and for their sake, you need to be good at war. For their sake, you need to be efficient and get it done quickly. See? Sun Tzu was wise. He cared about the population. He knew that that's why you were fighting. It wasn't for the power of the king. It wasn't the emperor who said, I don't like that guy, go kick his ass. It's not like that. Sun Tzu wouldn't sacrifice thousands of men for that kind of an attitude. He did it because this is what has to be done, because they will attack us if we do not attack them. So do I attack first, or do I prepare defenses, etc.? That's what Sun Tzu talks about in his entire dissertation. So if you haven't read Sun Tzu, read it. It's real short. It's not very long. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes with it that he wrote and that is about him. But his little dissertation, you can read it. It's usually about this, a pamphlet about that thick, you know what I mean? Because there's not a lot to fighting in a successful war. Number one is you have to have the moral law on your side, which Russia's never going to have. They're never going to have this. This is going to end one way, okay? With a complete capitulation by Russia and Vladimir Putin's death, or Vladimir Putin's death and another hardliner moving in and starting negotiations.